Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. I got some more time this week for this because obviously I missed a few weeks of Movie Monday, so I need to catch up. And this episode I was going to do this week anyway, but because there was two movies, I had to move it. And I thought, you know what? I got time now. I just did a half shift at work. I'm home at 7 p.m. I got time to watch two movies because I did not realize this was two movies. Death at a Funeral. I heard it was a black comedy, which is a dark humor type comedy, you know. Making a serious thing funny, essentially. That's my best explanation, but Google it. There's a better explanation on there. But it's a black comedy that takes place at a funeral, and there's actually two of them, which I didn't know until yesterday. So there's an original British version that came out in 2007, and there's an American remake that came out in 2010. Apparently, the plot's pretty much the same, just with slightly different characters, obviously Americans and British, obviously, different dialogue, but same plot apparently, and apparently Peter Dinklage is in both, and he plays the same character both times. So that's interesting. Yeah, I was going to watch one movie, but then I realized, hey, there's two of them, and I thought, you know what? Let me watch both of them. Because the English one is higher rated, and the American one seems a bit more popular among some people. I don't know. I guess I'll watch it and find out. But I'd rather watch both and find out which is better than just watch one based on what people say. I think generally most people like the English one better. But yeah, the American one does exist. It's like Dynasty, the TV show. I watched the American version. I didn't even realize it's a remake of a British TV show. So, and the American, like, I've seen clips of the British one. That one's a bit more like serious. The American one is so comedic. But maybe this is what I mean. They're both comedic. It's a black comedy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Obviously, I watched the original first, and then I watched the remake. I hope it's funny. And yeah, let's see what this is about. Actually, let me read the synopsis. For the '07 version, chaos ensues when a man tries to expose a dark secret regarding a recently deceased patriarch of a dysfunctional British family. I think this takes place at the patriarch's funeral. And the remake, which is on Netflix, it says, at the funeral for family patriarch, his dutiful eldest son finds that eccentric relatives and shocking revelations may just be the death of him. Interesting. Very interesting. Right. English version first, then American. Let's go. So I accidentally watched the 2010 version for 2 minutes. I'm watching the actual 2007 version now, and I realized the intro of both are quite similar. Like similar opening credits, and then it starts with the son watching his father's coffin being brought into his home. So, when they said same plot, is it shot for shot? That's what I'm wondering now. Oh, they brought the wrong body to his home. That's not my father, he said. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. They realised their mistake, now they're taking it back. I mean, it is a comedy, so I'm expecting more. That was good. That's a good start. I'm guessing he is part of like a high-class English family, right? Because he sounds like the royals. Like, he sounds very posh. Just thought I'd pause it just before the eulogy. There's so much going on, so many different characters. One guy's clearly off his head. He's taken something, and his fiancée is there with him. And there's this other guy who fancies her. And then you got the two brothers whose father died, and one lives in America. He's a famous author, and he's apparently got no money. Okay, so he's not paying anything for the funeral. Instead, the main character is, and he's doing the eulogy, but everyone wants his brother to do the eulogy because he's the author. So that's going on, and then you got this guy trying to get the uncle up in a wheelchair to the funeral, and he's had to park like a half a mile away. So there's that. That's just a few things. I don't want to describe every single thing that's going on. The point is there's so many characters, and each character has something going on, and just this whole build up to the actual eulogy of the funeral. There's some funny things in there. You just put it that way. But yeah, I wonder where this is going exactly, because I assume there's some sort of twist, because Peter Dinklage, he's probably the only American character in the at the funeral. Something's up there. Like there's something shady about him. I don't know what he's going to do or say, but I feel like he's going to do something. So I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. And also, like, the guy went to put a deposit down on a house, on a flat, I think, and his wife keeps pestering him about it. I'm just like, it's funeral day. He's probably not done it. He's probably not done it for a while, so that's probably why she's stressed out. But like, wait one more day. Like he's at his dad's funeral. Just relax. So the guy who's clearly off his head, I don't know why he was hallucinating or whatever. He was seeing things clearly. He saw the coffin moving, freaks out during the eulogy, and the coffin ends up getting knocked over. The body falls out, screams and shoo. Yeah, this has escalated just a little bit. Okay, that was a good twist. I was expecting some sort of twist regarding Peter Dinklage, and yes, there is. It wasn't what I was expecting. I thought he'd like reveal something like, I don't know, something incriminating or something like that. That's what I was expecting. But actually, Peter Dinklage's character is the guy's gay lover. So the father who's dead, he had a gay affair with Peter Dinklage's character. So and he's got proof as well. And he wasn't in the will. I guess mainly because it was an affair. So like, why would he put him in a will? Like, he's an affair, right? It just raised suspicions. And obviously Peter Dinklage didn't want the wife to find out anyway. But yeah, he's the affair, and he is requesting from the son £15,000. Like he feels he's entitled to something because they were lovers. I don't think that's really how it works. I think it depends on like marriage and obviously what's in the will. But still, you know, whether he's entitled to it or not, because he was close to his father, which he was, he feels he's entitled to at least £15,000. So I'm intrigued now to see what happens from now to the end of the movie, because that is quite a good twist. And I assume, because he's in the other movie as well, so I assume he does the same twist in the second one. So I'm even more intrigued by both movies now. Okay, I just thought I'd pause it because this is just too funny trying to hear how they're going to get out of the situation. So he tells his brother, so they both go in the room. They refuse to pay the money, or he refuses. And then they they go to restrain him and tie his legs and gag him with a tie. And then another character walks in. Sorry, I can't remember any of the names, so that's my bad. I'm terrible with names, especially with movie characters that I only know for 2 hours, or an hour and a half in this case. But anyway, as I was saying, the guy who had to park half a mile away, who had to wheelchair the uncle up, that guy who walks in, he's just like, what's going on? And the brothers say he's having a seizure. He's tied up, but he's having a seizure. So basically those pills that the crazy, well, he's not a crazy guy, I think he's a normal guy, but he clearly knocked over the coffin, whatever. He was off his head. He accidentally took something that was meant to be someone else's. I can't remember this guy's name either. But basically, the guy went, the couple went to pick someone up, and he owned these drugs, and the boyfriend, I think he's a fiance actually. Yeah. The fiance. He accidentally took one thinking it was Valium, but it's not Valium. So he's gone to the funeral off his head, knocked the coffin over. So those pills. So the guy who owned the drugs, he's obviously coming to the funeral as well. He dropped it in the grass outside, and someone else picked it up, which is the guy that had to park half a mile away. I should remember names. So he picked it up. I don't know if he's taken one, but he picked it up, and because Peter Dinklage was claimed to be having a seizure, which he wasn't, he gave 5 of those pills to Peter Dinklage. Bear in mind, the guy who's off his head knocked the coffin over and is seeing things. He's now outside on the roof, naked. Right, he locked himself in the bathroom. Now he's naked outside on the roof. Don't know what he's going to do. He took just one of these pills. They fed Peter Dinklage 5 of them. Yeah, it's like an acid, I think. It's some sort of acid that clearly makes you hallucinate. So now the guy who actually owns those drugs, he walks into the room and he reveals what's happened. He realizes, oh my god, you're giving him those pills. Oh no, I've been looking for them. And now they're bickering and talking at how to get out of this. I've not explained it the best, but it's really funny to listen to. Now we got these 4 characters trying to figure out what to do with Peter Dinklage. And they've also got this new fact that they're giving him 5 of those pills. So, yeah, there's 34 minutes left, including credits, I assume. I'm intrigued. So, this man is trying to get uncle from a wheelchair onto the toilet. This is him trying to put his trousers down and place him on the toilet. My question is, why is the toilet in the office? Like, this is the office where Peter Dinklage is tied up. Like, why is it in an office? Like, the house seems pretty big. Why is the toilet in the... Okay, you know what? Let's just continue. So now the guy's wife knows the wife he was talking about deposit for the flat. So now she knows why he can't... Well, I mean, he didn't... I don't know why he didn't pay before, but now he can't pay for it because of this blackmailing thing. But Peter Dinklage, basically, the two guys were distracted by the guy having, you know, guy needs to go to the toilet. The old man, obviously, and one of the guys, he got poo on his hand, so he had to wash that. So while they were distracted, Peter Dinklage tried to escape. He was jumping on the sofa trying to get free of the ropes, fell off, hits his head on a glass table, and now it looks like he's dead. So this is where the title comes in. Sorry, I gotta keep pausing to talk about this because there's like, it's not the only situation going on, right? So the guy that fancies this woman whose fiance has ruined the funeral. Well, I mean, now the brothers know that he was off his head. He knows he's taken something, so at least the brothers won't blame him for that incident. Obviously, they have more to worry about anyway. But anyway, so the guy is off his head, who's naked outside. He is seen. So the guy that fancies her, the guy that fancies his fiance, he has kissed her against her will. So like she didn't want him. She's like, no, he's obsessed with her because they had a one-night stand at one point. So ever since then, he's just been trying to get her. She keeps saying, "No, I'm not interested. You don't actually care about me." And then he kisses her against the window, and well, she clearly doesn't want it. But the point is, her fiance is outside naked, and he's turned around and he's actually seen that. So from his perspective, she just kissed him back. And now he's threatened to jump off the building. So he wants to jump. Right. Okay. This has escalated to... I mean, I see what you mean by black comedy. So the fiance's gone after him onto the roof. So they're both on the roof now. And meanwhile, everyone's outside in the garden. So the brothers see this as the perfect opportunity to get the body and put it in the coffin with their dad. It's just... I've just seen them put him in. They put him in like 69 position, like his head is that, you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, don't worry. Meanwhile, the Reverend's being distracted because he's still in the house, and meanwhile that old man is still on having a poo in the toilet. So the fiance, she's on the roof and she's pregnant. So now I'm curious as to when that one night stand affair was, because if that was recently, then what if, like, what if the affair is the reason she's pregnant? Was it even an affair? It could have been like it happened before she got with this new guy, but like now I'm questioning that. Like when did she have that one night stand? By the way, like her father doesn't approve of the guy. So the fact that he's, in his eyes, the guy's ruined the funeral and he's been naked on the roof, he approves even less. He approves even less. And today, like literally on the funeral day, he found out that she's moving in with him. She's having a kid with him and they're getting married. So he's having his worst nightmare. Oh wow. So the guy that fancies her, now he doesn't like her anymore because she's having a kid. He doesn't want to raise a kid. Right. Right, okay. Well, that worked out itself then. Alright, pause. Pause. So it turns out Peter Dinklage is alive. So when they get back to the eulogy, so they're back to resume the funeral, the Reverend was meant to leave like hours ago, but he's still there somehow. He's lost his patience, but eulogy starts again. You hear knocking on the coffin. So he's still alive. He screams out of the coffin and they pull him out. They act like they don't know what's going on, the brothers, but obviously they pull him out. They try to get him out and the photos fall out. They fall out in front of the widowed wife. So she sees the photo, the explicit photo of the affair, and goes after him, attacks Peter Dinklage. Oh, what is this movie, man? After that, it's just like there's a great eulogy, and then the brothers have a nice conversation, and the movie ends. Although it ends on quite a twist. That Valium, the wife of the brother who gave the speech. She gave him some without knowing what it is. As in, she gave. Sorry, I said that wrong. She gave some to the old man, the uncle on the wheelchair. She gave it to him, and now somehow he's on the roof, naked, looking at the garden and complaining about everything, how everything's green, and then the movie ends. Right. Okay. Most of the movies I watch are like obviously Hollywood and everything, but when I do watch a British made film, usually I quite like it. I guess because a lot of it tends to be based on like British humour and British life and everything, and obviously because I lived in England my whole life, you know, watching British TV growing up as well, you know, watching a British movie, you kind of you get a lot of humour that Americans or people outside England just won't get. So like I do enjoy British comedy quite a lot and British drama as well. So yeah, I'm always intrigued with British made movies because most of the movies I watch are obviously American. This was very good. I actually really enjoyed it. It was a good comedy, bit of British comedy, British black comedy, and it worked. I love why it's called black comedy because it's not based on like the people in the movie. Like it's everyone in the movie is white, which is fine, but I mean like it's called black comedy not because there's black characters, because there's not. I think there are in the American one though, but I think in the American one there's a black family. But anyway, a black comedy is like a dark humor type movie, so this is a serious funeral where funny things happen, but it's very good. I really enjoy it, so I really enjoyed it. So yeah, American version, you have got a lot to live up to because that was really fun. Also, I can't remember any of the names of the actors either, but there's quite a few actors and actresses that are familiar that I've seen in other shows that they've been in, especially the wife, the wife of the brother. She's in Line of Duty, I think she's in Line of Duty. I think that's where I know her from. Either that or The Capture. She's in one of those two things. Yeah, she's quite. What's her name actually? I should know her name. Keely Hawes. Is that how you pronounce it? Keely Hawes, the one who plays Jane. Yeah, she's been in quite a few things. Yeah, she's in Line of Duty and Bodyguard. She's in Bodyguard as well. Okay, I probably noticed her from a couple of things then. I think I've seen Finding Alice. But yeah, Matthew McFadden and Andy Nyman, Ewan Bremer. I'm definitely pronouncing these wrong. Alan Tudyk. This is the guy that was naked on the roof. Jane Asher, Peter Vaughan. Obviously Peter Dinklage, Rupert Graves, Chris Marshall. Chris Marshall's the other guy that I recognise. What was he in? He was in something big. I can't remember what it was. Love Actually. He was in Love Actually. Oh yeah, he was. He was in something. He was in a British TV show that I've forgotten. It's not there. I can't find it. Citizen Khan. Yeah, he's in Citizen Khan. He's the guy who plays Dave. Oh yeah, that's how I know him. That's how I know him. Alright, yeah, so yeah, familiar faces, and it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the American one now, but it's got a lot to live up to. But let's see how good it is compared to this one, because this is very good. I think I'll give a proper rating at the end for both, but like just in case I forget, this one's an 8 out of 10. Yeah, this one's a solid movie. On to the next. Right, so the Netflix thumbnail is Peter Dinklage being tied up by 3 guys, just like the original. So this might be scene for scene. I don't know. Apparently, I heard it's like the exact same plot with different dialogue. That's what I heard based on like certain posts and stuff. I didn't want to be spoiled or anything, but I just read like comparisons. But yeah, this cast is quite interesting. It's got Keith David, Peter Dinklage, obviously, Danny Glover, Regina Hall, Kevin Hart, Martin Lawrence, James Marsden, Tracy Morgan, Chris Rock, Zoe Saldana, Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson. Where do I remember him from? Because I recognize his face, and I'm just like, where did I? Legally Blonde. I actually saw Legally Blonde ages ago. Yeah, he was in Legally Blonde. Why have I seen that movie? I don't know, but he was in that. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I've said that word like 4 times this video. Oh my god, I'm 14 minutes in, and there are some lines that are exactly the same. there's definitely scenes that are the same. Like there's a couple, the couple who pick up another guy who has Valium that's not Valium, and James Marsden takes the pill, so he's gonna be naked on a roof, I assume, at some point in this movie. But literally, like, Martin Lawrence, who's the younger brother, he just made the same joke the brother made in the English version. No matter where you sit on a plane, first class or not, if the plane crashes, you die anyway. That's not the exact line, but I'm just like, he said the exact line, word for word, that they said in the English version. I'm just like, wow. Okay. And Mr. Glover is the old man, obviously not the young Glover, the other Glover. I always get their names confused, because obviously they're clearly different people, but I always get confused, like, wait, he's Danny, right? Or is he Donald? I always get confused in that part, but yeah. The guy from Lethal Weapon, he's the old man in this, in the wheelchair. But yeah, so far, it's been pretty much the same, except American humor version of it. There's definitely some bits added on, like some extra bits, but for the most part the same movie, and I've literally just paused it on a scene about the plane, and I'm just like, that's the exact same line. So I'm expecting more of this. Okay, so in the British one, the guy who accidentally takes a drug, he asks if there's a dog just in the car, so this is like the first sign of him getting high. Exact same line. This time, why do I keep calling him Robin? Where'd that come from? This time, James Marsden. Was there a dog just in the car just now? I'm not gonna call out every line that's the same, okay? These are the first two examples I've seen, that's why I'm bringing them up. But I'm just like, okay, well, they were right when they said, based on what's happened so far, when they said same plot, slightly different dialogue, but some of the dialogue is actually exactly the same, which is kind of interesting. There's also some like added comedy music in the background, American style. I mean, it makes me think, what was the point of making this? Just to like make the same storyline to cater towards an American audience, I guess. But still, like, if it's going to be the exact same thing, was there a need? Spotted a difference. The thing the wife is nagging the guy about is not about buying a flat in this one. It's about making a baby. She legit just said, I'm wearing no panties, we got 5 minutes, let's go. I'm just like, whoa, it's funeral day, bro. This is even more insane than buying a flat. Chris Rock and Martin Lawrence is a duo I didn't know I needed. The scene where his brother showed him the photos, Martin Lawrence's reaction was quite funny. Oh, daddy! It sounded very weird, but funny. There are differences, like in the original, the brothers mainly have arguments. In this one, they actually have like a bit of a fight as well. Also, when Peter Dinklage falls and supposedly dies, I think in the original one he was just trying to escape. In this one he seemed like really high and he just fell off the sofa. So the naked guy almost falls off after agreeing to come down after finding out that she's pregnant. There's a bit of a difference there. So Keith David, who plays the Reverend in this, I kind of like, I heard something familiar. I'm just like, his voice is so familiar. Like, there's something that I watch that I'm a fan of that he's voicing, and I'm thinking to myself, what is it? And I was fairly confident it was a voice acting thing, because like that voice, I could distinctly remember that voice, but I can't put the voice to the face. But now I can. I know who he is. It's just that I'm just like, that voice sounds awfully familiar. So I looked him up, and he is the president in Rick and Morty. That makes so much sense now. I'm just like, that's the voice I recognize. So one thing that both versions do really well is the eulogy, the final eulogy, because obviously chaos ensues and the guy gets emotional in his eulogy and he delivers a better eulogy than the one he wrote down. In both versions, it's really well done scene. So yeah, it's almost at the end. The British version is better, but this was very good as well. I really enjoyed it. But if I was to rate them, like if I was to actually compare them, the English one, 8 out of 10, this one 7 out of 10. This one, obviously, the remake, Americanized, I think it works. And if I watched this one first, I would have enjoyed it for sure, but judging it in its own right, it's good. But it's not as good as the other one. But yeah, definitely worth watching, the both of them. And I'm sure it's going to end with the old uncle naked. I hope not, but probably is. So a lot of the scenes are the same, some scenes exactly the same dialogue wise, but there are some things that are different as well. So there's differences for sure. But yeah, for the most part, same plot, just slightly altered. Yep, ends the same way. Same naked, well, not the same actor, but naked uncle on the roof, complaining about everything so green. Right, there you go then. Definitely worth to watch. So I'll be back in this series next week for who knows what I'll be watching. I mean, I did reveal it in a community post, so one of the movies on that list. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and see ya.